Samadhanam Tva Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamashravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashranvannotibhisida Sadhanam Shri Mahaganadipataye Namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om. Dear friends, we were reading the second shloka of 18th Adhyaya in the last class. That is, Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sanyasam Kavayo Viduhu Sarva Karma Phalatyagam Prahustyagam Vichakshanaha. Lord Krishna was saying that he was explaining rather what exactly is the meaning of sannyasa and what is the meaning of tyaga. So these two things he was explaining. So yesterday I gave a small background about sannyasa and tyaga. That is, sannyasa, I told, it is of two types. Number one is vidvat sannyasa and vividisha sannyasa. Vidvat sannyasa, where a man gets enlightened after Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, and then he realizes that all the bodily activities, they are not his, they are only guna guneshu vartante. So in that frame of mind, he gives up all karmas and then he becomes a sannyasi. Vividisha sannyasi is one who takes up this ashrama sannyasa and he practices all this shamatama, titiksha and all these things, and at the same time he does the Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana with the hope of attaining Jnana. So that is Vividisha sannyasa. He has also given up karmas. Vividisha sannyasi also has given up karmas. Then who is left? Brahmachari is one who is left. For Brahmachari, apart from say Sandhyavandana, there is no other karma. Panchayajnas are not there. Then Gruhastha is the man for whom Nitya karma is there, Naimitika karma is there. Nitya karma means not only Sandhyavandana but Panchamahayajnas, and also Kamya karmas are there. So he has got a whole range of karmas. So the option can be exercised by this Gruhastha only. When there is no scope for option, when the option itself does not arise, say sannyasi does not come into picture because the question of option does not arise. The question of option does not arise in the case of a brahmachari also. So the option to exercise option or not, so that arises only in the case of a gruhastha. So this is what we have to keep in at the back of our mind when we read this whole thing. So here Lord Krishna, we saw this shloka we saw, and then we also read almost all the bhashyam. Yadi kamya karma parityaga phala parityago va artha vaktavyaha sarvatha parityaga matram sannyasa tyaga shabdayoho eko arthaha. So both the sannyasa and the tyaga, they convey the same meaning because parityaga is the common factor in that. Parityaga, you are just giving up something. In one case you are giving up the karmas itself. In another case you are giving up the karma phala. And what is it that you are giving up and what are those in which you are only giving up karma phala? Kamya karma you are giving up altogether. Regarding Nitya Naimitika karmas, you are not giving up those things, you are giving up the karma phala only. You are doing the karma because you have to entertain guests, you have to support the whole structure of the society. If Grihastha does not do this Nitya karmas, that is Atithi Yajna, Deva Yajna, Pitru Yajna, etc., the whole society will collapse. So that is the structure, the whole dharma structure will collapse. So that is why he is supposed to do all that Yajna, Danam, Tapas, etc., they are all required. So he has to jolly well do. But at the same time, he should not expect the result of that. So that is where we are. Tyaga and sannyasa both contain this element or component of parityaga. Sannyasa and tyaga, they both have this component of parityaga, that is giving up. In one case, you are giving up the karma altogether, that is kamya karma, where you want more prosperity, where you want to go to Swarga and whatnot. All those things you have given up because you have heard from some master that Swarga is not the most desirable thing and then moksha is the thing which is to be desired. So, with some knowledge that there is something called moksha, we have given up this kamya karma. Then this nitya naimitika karma also, phala tyaga has to be done. So that is where we stop. Then the Purva Mimamsaka gets a question. The question is, according to these Purva Mimamsakas, Nitya Karmas, they do not give any result. According to Mimamsakas, Nitya Karma is something which has to be done. That's all. If you do not do, there is a sin of omission. So there is no benefit or there is no positive advantage which is coming to you, but if you do not do, there is a whiplash, there is a sin of omission. So that is what they say. So akarane pratyavaya. Akarane means tesham akarane. If you do not do them, there is a pratyavaya. You fall down. So that is what they say. Whereas Shankaracharya is now saying that it is not so, because in the text also it is very, very clear that nitya karmas also give some result. So that is why nitya naimittika karmanam karma phala tyagaha. So that is what he is telling. So let us read this line. Last line we were reading was Nanu, that is a Purva Paksha. Nitya naimittikanam karmanam phalameva nasti ityahuhu. People say that for these nitya karmas and naimittika karmas, there is no positive phalam. If you do not do, there is a negative result. But then positive phalam is not there. Then kathamuchyate tesham phalatyagaha iti. When they are not giving you any benefit or any result, positive result, then where is the question of phalatyaga? It is like saying Vandhyayaha putratyagaha. Vandhya is a barren woman, and she has given a person. It is like saying that. So how can it be? It is so inconsistent. So that is what Purvapakshi says. Siddhanti says Naisha doshaha nityanamapi karmanam
नित्यानामपि कर्मणां
Bhagavata phalavattvasya ishtatvat.
भगवता फलवत्वस्य इष्टत्वात्.
So the Lord Krishna himself is saying that nitya karma also gives some result. Where he is going to say that nitya naisha doshaha, there is no such thing like it, your argument is incorrect. Then nityanamapi karmanam, even for this nitya karmas also, Bhagavata means by Lord Krishna, phalavattvasya ishtatvat. Lord Krishna desires that nitya karmas, Lord Krishna opines, or rather ishta means he also likes it in that way. Lord Krishna also he likes, so that is why he has put it in that way. Lord Krishna also has said that nitya karmas also there is phalavatvam in them. Phalavatvam means phalavat is something which will give phalam is phalavat. So phalavatvam means that thing, that quality, or that nature of giving phalam. That nature of giving phalam is phalavatvam. So in other words, in simple English, it means nitya karmas also give result. That is Krishna's opinion. So that is what it means. Vakshyati hi Bhagavan anishtam ishtamiti natu sannyasinam iti cha. Sannyasinam eva hi kevalam. Okay, he is there. Okay. Karma phala sambandham darshayan. Asanyasinam nitya karma phala praptim. Bhavatyatyaginam pretya iti darshayati. Okay. So Vakshyati means he is going to say, where Vakshyati hi Bhagavan anishtam ishtam mishram cha. 1812. If you see that 1812, 12th shloka, anishtam ishtam mishram cha trividha karmana phalam. There is some shloka like that. Yeah. Anishtam ishtam mishram cha trividham karmana phalam. The karma, the result of a karma is of three types. That is anishtam, ishtam, mishram. Anishtam is something which is undesired, not desired, unwelcome rather. Anishtam is unwelcome. Ishtam, something which is welcome. You got it or not? 12th shloka. 18th adhyaya, 18th chapter, 12th shloka. Anyway, you can also have a small book like this. You can keep another small book with you.
Yes, Anishtam.
Anishtam is something which is not desired by us, something which is unwelcome. Ishtam is something which is desired. Mishram is something, a mixture of desired and undesired. So Anishtam is something like going to hell. Ishtam is something like going to heaven. Mishram is something which is staying in this world, sometimes sorrow, sometimes happiness, so something like that. So Trividham Karmana Phalam. Karmana Phalam is of three types, he says. Then he also says, Bhavati Atyaginam Pretya. For one who is a Atyagi. Atyagi means who has not given this karma, who has not done this karma phalatyaga. For that man, Natu Sannyasinam Kvachit. Not so in the case of a sannyasi. He says very, very clearly that for this sannyasi, this karma, this thing is not there. But this three types of phalam is there for somebody who does not do this karma phala tyaga. So he is going to say that. So what does it mean? It means that whatever karma you do, it will give some result. Whatever karma you do, it will definitely give some result. So you are doing some atithi yajna, deva yajna, pitru yajna, all these things, they do give some results. Sandhyavandana also gives some result. So that is what it means. So vaksheti hi Bhagavan anishtam ishtamiti, then natu sannyasinam iticha, natu sannyasinam pretya, natu sannyasinam kvachitu, this last line of this last pada of this 12th shloka. Iticha sannyasinam evahi karma phala asambandham darshayan. Karma phala asambandham. Asambandham is not having any connection. Karma phala asambandham, not having any connection. In the case of whom? In the case of sannyasi. Sannyasi is the man in whose case there is no sambandha, there is no connection with the karma phala. So that Lord Krishna is demonstrating. Then asanyasinam nitya karma phala praptyam darshayati. Asannyasi, for somebody who has not given up this karma phala, then for him bhavati atyaginam pretya. Pretya means having departed after the fall of the body. Then all this karma phalam trividham karmana phalam bhavati. Bhavati means what bhavati? Karma phalam bhavati. That karma phalam will accrue to him. So that is what he is darshayati, means he shows like that. Is it clear?
Yes,
So here there is a point. This point we have to note, because there is a general impression. Even sometimes in Vedanta also, people sometimes write Nitya Karma, it is something which is Akarane Pratyavaya, etc., etc. But here, of course, Shankaracharya is very clearly explaining the meaning of this particular shloka, 18-12, and he is showing. Even in some other places also, he has made a reference to this, because nothing comes out of nothing. And then when you are doing something, it will not go into nothing also. When there is a karma, it will not go into nothing. So it has to produce some result. So that is what he says. So this is the point which we have to note here. Then next shloka. Tyajyam doshavadityeke
Tyajyam doshavadityeke
karma prahurmanishinaha
karma prahurmanishinaha
yajnadana tapah karma
yajnadana tapah karma
natyajyamiti chapare.
natyajyamiti chapare.
So okay, some people say like this, some people say some other way. What is that? Tyajyam doshavat iti eke karma prahuhu manishinaha. See the first line. Tyajyam doshavat iti eke karma prahuhu manishinaha. Eke means some people. Eke is some people. Eke. Prahuhu means they say. What do they say? Karma doshavat tyajyam. This karma has to be given up. Doshavat, because it is faulty. Doshavat, of course, has two meanings. It can be taken as say doshavat, gunavan, gunavat, something like that. Matu pratyaya. You know this matu pratyaya. Doshavat means that which is faulty, that which is flawed, that which is full of imperfections, that which is full of defects. That is what is doshavat. Doshaha asyasti iti doshavat. Shankaracharya is going to tell that also. So something which is defective, something which is flawed, full of defects, full of pitfalls. So all that is doshavat. Then another way is vat, ramavat, ramavat karma kuru. Suppose I say, you imitate Rama and you do work just as Rama does, just like vat. That is in comparison, comparing somebody. Say Ramavat karma kuru, na Ravanavat. Suppose I say, you do not do like Ravana, do like Rama, I say. So vat, so that meaning is different. So that is comparison. That also can be taken here. That's what commentator says. So karma doshavat tyajyam. The point is karma has to be thrown out because it is defective, or just as you throw away a defect, just as you discard a defect, just as you discard a dosha, you discard karma also. So that is what it means. Prahuhu manishinaha. Manishinaha means people, intelligent people, good people, scholars. Manishinaha. Scholars, they say. Manisha. Manisha means buddhi, isn't it? Buddhir manisha dhishana. Amarkosha says buddhihi manisha. That is intellect, not merely intellect, wisdom. Wise people, let us say. The word manishinaha, the actual meaning will be, more appropriate meaning will be, wise people. Wise people, they say. Then apare, next line. Yajna, dana, tapaha, karma, na tyajyam iti cha apare. Apare means some others. Some others, they say. What do they say? Yajna, danam, tapam, etc. Tapaha, not tapam, tapaha. These three things, they cannot be, say, discarded. This yajna, dana, tapaha are there in your nitya karma. So, of course, there maybe if you ask Mimamsakas, he will also include kamya karma also. So, these things, they cannot be abandoned, they cannot be relinquished. So, that is what this apare, some other people, they say. So, that is what the shloka means. We will see the bhashyam. Tyajyam tyaktavyam.
Tyajyam tyaktavyam.
Doshavat dosho asyasti iti doshavat.
Doshavat dosho asyasti iti doshavat.
Kim tat?
Kim tat?
Karma bandha hetutvat sarvameva.
Karma bandha hetutvat sarvameva.
Okay. Tyajyam means tyaktavyam. That tavya pratyaya. Tavya means you have to jolly well do. Tavya pratyaya is you have to. Gantavyam, bhoktavyam. So like that, tyaktavyam, you have to jolly well say relinquish it. Like what? Doshavat. What for? Doshavat. Doshaha asyasti iti doshavat. That is full of defects. That is what it means. Dosha is defect or fault. It is faulty, flawed, defective, full of pitfalls. So doshavat asyasti iti doshavat. Kim tat? What is that? Karma. What are the pitfalls in karma? We know what are the pitfalls because karma gives a result, and in order to enjoy or suffer that result, you have to again take a birth. So that is what that is the pitfall. That is the fault associated with this karma. So you have to avoid it, isn't it? When there is a pitfall, naturally you avoid it. So doshavat tyaktavyam. Kim tat? What is that? Karma bandha hetutvat sarvameva. Karma bandha hetutvat, because it is of the nature of bind, it is the cause for binding. Bandha hetuhu means cause for bondage. Bandha hetutvat means because it is the cause for bondage. Sarvameva, the whole karma, the entire karma has to be left, has to be relinquished because of this reason. Athava, let us read.
Athava.
Dosho yatha ragadihi tyajyate.
Dosho yatha ragadihi tyajyate.
Tatha tyajyamiti.
Tatha tyajyamiti.
Eke prahuhu manishinaha panditaha sankhyaadi drushtimashritah.
Eke prahuhu manishinaha panditaha sankhyaadi drushtim ashritah.
Okay. Athava, or else, like we said, Ramavat kuru, Naravanavat, something like that. Doshavat. Dosho yatha ragadihi tyajyate. Raga, dvesha, etc. These are all the defects. We try to avoid them. So, as far as possible, we try to get over them. So, doshavat, doshaha, yatha ragadihi. Dosha, he is giving an example for dosha. Yatha ragadihi tyajyate. That which is abandoned, that which is given up. Tatha, likewise, tyajyam. Just as you gradually overcome various personality defects. Of course, personality defects in modern sense, we mean a slightly different thing. But here, a seeker's personality, when you are seeing a seeker's personality, raga, dvesha, etc., they are all defects. In the case of a spiritual seeker, raga, dvesha, etc., they are all defects. So, all those defects, just as you throw away, similarly, this karma, the whole karma has to be thrown away. Dosha, tyajyamiti eke prahu, manishinaha. What is manishinaha? Panditaha, sankhyaha. Sankhya does not refer to Kapila Sankhya. Again, Sankhya we should take the meaning of second adhyaya. Sankhya means samyak khyayate atma tattvamanena iti sankhyam. So that is, Sankhya is jnana. Jnaninaha. Sankhyaha means jnaninaha. The wisdom, wise people. Sankhya drushtimashritah means those who are having that Sankhya drushti. That means jnaninaha, wise people. Those who have this samyak jnana, the right understanding. So such people. So they say that all these things have to be given up. Then adhikrutanam karminam api bandha hetutva sarvameva. Did we read this line? Ashritaha.
We have to read this.
Adhikrutanam karminam api iti.
Adhikrutanam karminam api iti.
Tatraiva yajnadana tapah karma na tyajyamiti cha apare.
Yajnadana tapah karma na tyajyam iti cha apare.
Okay, Sankhyaha, what do they say? adhikrutanam karminam api. So, okay, karminam api means, okay, sannyasis have already given up. Sannyasi means this paramartha sannyasi, the real sannyasi, jnani sannyasi, let us say. Jnani sannyasi versus seeker sannyasi. Seeker sannyasi is Vividisha sannyasi. He also has given up. Karmi is you and me, who are all enjoined to do a karma, who are all asked to do a karma, who are all not only entitled but we are supposed to do a karma, expected to do a karma. That is what is adhikara. Karmani adhikrutaha means not only that you have got a right to do, but you have got a duty to do. So that is it. Ours is a duty bound structure. So the Sankhya Drishtim Ashritaha adhikrutanam karminam api. Not only for these sannyasis, but also for this karmi. For all these karmis also, they have to given up this say karmas. So that is what they say. Then tatraiva yajnadana tapah karma natyajyam. So some other people say that these three things cannot be abandoned. Then karminah, where is this? Karminah eva adhikrutan apekshya.
कर्मिणः एव अधिकृतान् अपेक्ष्य
एते विकल्पाः न तु ज्ञाननिष्ठान् व्युत्थायिनः सन्यासिनः अपेक्ष्य. You can underline this line because this is the opinion. This is the say conclusion given by Shankaracharya. This, of course, he is going to explain also. This is the point which he is going to explain. Karminaha eva adhikutan apekshya. Apekshya means in relation to them. Apekshya in relation to them or keeping them in mind. So this whole statement is this whole statement is made keeping in mind these karminaha. Karminaha adhikrutan. Karminaha is in dvitiya bahuvachanam. Dvitiya, not dvitiya vibhakti bahuvachanam, not prathama bahuvachanam. Prathama bahuvachanam also is karminaha. Dvitiya bhavachanam, karminaha adhikrutan, keeping them in mind. So in that sense, karminaha adhikrutan apekshya, keeping those people in mind. What type of people? Karminaha. That is those who are adhikaris for karma. That means adhikari means those who have that eligibility and those for whom it is a duty also. It is our duty also to do karma. So that is how we are adhikaris. So karminaha eva adhikrutan apekshya ete vikalpaha. These two options, are there meant for, okay, apekshya you can also say meant for. These options are meant for, they are in relation to or they are keeping in mind this karminaha eva. Those options are mentioned. Not natu jnananishtan vyuthayinaha. Jnananishtan apekshya. Natu jnananishtan apekshya. Not keeping in mind those who are in Jnananishta. Because Jnananishta, a person who is in Jnananishta, for him all activity is no longer there. His bodily activities, he may be performing some daily small activities, but then he knows that say all those things, guna guneshu vartante, pashyan, shrunvan, sprushan, jigran, ashnan, gachan, swapan, shwasan, all those things he does, and then he is untouched by all of them. So he is in that state of mind. That is jnana, nishta. He is having that steadiness in jnana, awareness. Vyuthayinaha. Vyuthanam we know. Vyuthanam is rising above. One who has risen above. Vyuthayinaha. Those who have risen above all these things. Then sannyasinaha apekshya. All this whole statement is made not, this whole statement is made keeping in mind the karminaha and not sannyasinaha who have risen above all these dualities. Apekshya. Then jnana yogena sankhyanam nishthamaya pura prokta iti karmadhikarad apodhrutaha ye
कर्माधिकारात् अपोद्धृताः ये
न तान् प्रतिचिन्ता. Okay. Jnana yogena sankhyanam nishthamaya pura prokta. This is the third adhyaya. That is lokesmin dvividha nishta pura prokta mayanaka. You remember that?
Yes.
The very third shloka. Lokesmin dvividha nishtha pura prokta mayanaka. Jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam. This third adhyaya, third shloka. So two nishtas are there altogether. Broadly there are two nishtas. What is that? Jnana nishtha and also karma nishtha. Jnana yoga is for the people who are in the path of knowledge. Karma nishtha is for the people who are in the path of karma. Isn't it? Karma yogis. So here, Jnana yogena sankhyanam nishtha maya pura prokta. Pura prokta maya nagha. So this is artha, it is called arthatonuvadam. Shloka is not quoted as it is, but the same words are quoted in a slightly different way. It is called arthataha anuvadam. So that is what Shankaracharya has done here. Jnana yogena sankhyanam nishtha maya prokta iti karmadhikarad apodhrutaha. Apodhrutaha means those who have been taken out from that purview. Apa udhrutaha. Uddharana we know.
Yes.
Uddharini we know. Udhrutaha means that which is lifted up. Apodhrutaha. Apa plus udhrutaha. Apodhrutaha. Those who have been lifted above. that is what it means. That means those who have been say isolated from that, those who have been say taken out from the purview of that, let us say purview, from the purview is a better way. So you see, Jnana yogena sankhyanam nishtha iti karmadhikarad apodhruta ye means those who have been taken out, those who have been taken out from the purview of karma, from the realm of karma, from the orbit of karma. So use any word. Karmadhikarad apodhrutaha. They have been taken out from the orbit, from the purview of this karmadhikara. So these people have been taken out because their attitude, their mindset is different, their understanding is different. So apodhruta ye na tan prati chinta. This whole discussion, this whole chinta, we are not worried about them. Na tan prati chinta. Chinta means vicharaha. Vichara means discussion. The whole discussion is not about those jnanis. The discussion is about the karmi. With what type of attitude in mind he has to do karma. So those Arjuna, the question before Arjuna is a samsari. He is a gruhastha. The question before Arjuna is about not what a sannyasi has to do, about what he has to do. He has to jolly well do with what intention. Whether he is doing with the intention of a karma yoga or in that spirit of karma yoga, or whether he is doing them with phalabhisandhi. So that is the basic question here. So you follow, I think there is no problem.
Yes.
So, natu tan prati chinta. So here again there is a small purvapaksha. Nanu karmayogena yoginam adhikrutaha yoginamityadhikrutaha purvam vibhaktanishtaha api iha sarvashastrupasamhara prakarane yatha vicharyante tatha sankhya api jnananishtaha vicharyantam iti. Okay, so this man says, okay, now you say, you have quoted that the third adhyaya, third shloka. Jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam, you have quoted that shloka. But you have taken out those karma yogis and then you are analyzing them in this context. Just as you are analyzing them in this context, just as you are analyzing karma yogis in this context, why don't you take that jnana yogis also and analyze them here? So that is what he says. Because the Mimamsaka does not want to leave these jnanis alone. He somehow wants to bring these jnanis also into the fold of karma. So that is the point. So nanu karma yogena yoginam iti. So by saying that, karma yogena yoginam, by saying that, iti adhikrutaha means karmani adhikrutaha. Those who are those who are supposed to be in this karma yoga. Adhikrutaha means karma yoga. Those who are there in the karma yoga. Purvam vibhakta nishthaha api. Though their nishtha has been divided, though their nishtha has been specified, vibhakta nishtha. Vibhakta means divided. Vibhajana, you know. Vibhakta nishtha, though it has been very clearly specified, vibhakta nishthaha api. Iha, here in this context, sarvashastropasamhara prakarane, in the context where you are concluding or you are summarizing the whole shastra. So when you are summarizing the whole shastra, why don't you take them also? Sarvashastra upasamhara prakarana. The context here is that you are summarizing the whole shastra. So in this context, just as you have analyzed, or just as you are now analyzing this karma yogis, why don't you analyze jnana yogis also? So that is the point. Sarvashastropasamhara prakarane yatha vicharyante, just as you are discussing them, tatha likewise sankhyaha api, that is sankhyaha api, those jnaninaha api jnana nishtha vicharyantam, just as you are analyzing this sankhya, yoga nishtha or karma nishtha, this jnana nishtha also let it be examined. Vicharyantam means let it be examined. So that way, vicharyantam iti, na, it is not correct. So Shankaracharya says na. Tesham moha dukkha nimitta tyaga anupapattehe.
Tesham moha dukkha nimitta tyaga anupapattehe.
Na kaya klesha nimittani dukkhani.
Na kaya klesha nimittani dukkhani.
Sankhyaha atmani pashyanti.
Sankhyaha atmani pashyanti.
Ichchadinam kshetra dharmatvenaiva darshitatvat.
Ichchadinam kshetra dharmatvenaiva darshitatvat.
Okay. Now it is not so, because we are not taking them into consideration. When the option does not arise in their case, why do you want to bring them? The point is, when jnanis are in a totally different path altogether, why will you drag them here when they are not at all connected with all this? Why will you drag them here? So that is what he says. Tesham moha dukkha nimitta tyaga anupapattehe. In their case, this will not arise, anupapatti. What will not arise? Moha nimitta, dukkha nimitta, tyagasya anupapattehe. In their case, this sort of tyaga, because of delusion, moha, or dukkha nimitta. Dukkha nimitta means some bad incident happens. And then this man say becomes a sannyasi, or somebody quarrels with his wife and becomes a sannyasi. So that is also, you can take it. So dukkha nimitta. So the wife doesn't cook properly, the wife has an angry argument and becomes a sannyasi. So that sort of thing. Moha nimitta, delusion, out of sheer delusion. Okay, I am doing a very great thing by becoming a sannyasi. So he he becomes a sannyasi and does not do shravana manana nididhyasana, etc. So that is the deluded thinking. So a person simply having some great robes and whatnot without doing any shravana manana nididhyasana, so he thinks that he is a very great man. So that is a moha. So tesham, for them, tesham means for the jnanis. For the jnanis, moha nimitta. Moha nimitta means that which is caused by this type of delusional thinking. And then dukkha nimitta, that which is caused by some dukkha, some personal problem. You have quarrel with your son or quarrel with your wife and you become a sannyasi. Or any other dukkha, some other dukkha, let us say. Dukkha nimitta tyaga anupapattehe. It does not arise in their case, because they are above all that. They have become sannyasis by virtue of jnanam, by virtue of all this, the whole process of self-control, and then sadhana chatushtaya, the process of shravana manana, etc. The whole nishtha, the sadhana chatushtaya they have undergone. The whole shravana manana they have, nididhyasana they have undergone. So for them, this type of spurious sannyasa does not arise in their case. So that is what he says. You follow that? Na kaya klesha nimittani dukkhani sankhyaha atmani pashyanti. Kaya klesha nimittani. Kaya klesha. Kaya means body. Kaya klesha means bodily say laziness, let us say. Kaya klesha is something which is painful to the body. Kaya klesha nimittani dukkhani. You have to go out every day and then go to office and then you have to do some work till evening and then do some work. Of course, in the present context. In olden days, the man had to go out and then do some work somewhere and then he had to bring something for that day's survival. So like that is all kaya klesha nimitta dukkham. Who has to go? He has to walk, go miles and miles and maybe go to some other village and then get some employment and then get some food. So all that kaya klesha nimittani dukkhani sankhyaha na atmani pashyanti. That na has to be brought here. Sankhyaha na atmani pashyanti. They don't see it in the atma. All this kaya klesha dukkham is only for the body, not for the atma. All these things are only for the body-mind complex. Dukkha is only a chitta vritti. Sukha is a chitta vritti. So all these things they do not see, they do not attribute to the atma. Atmani pashyanti. Ichchadinam kshetra dharmatvenaiva darshitatvat, because they are the people who have seen this ichcha, etc. Ichcha, dvesha, raga, dvesha. Ichcha means ichcha is also desire. Ichcha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, etc. That words we know. Ichcha is desire. Ichchadinam kshetra dharmatvena, that is the dharma, that is the property of the kshetra. Kshetra is the body-mind complex. The body-mind complex, the ichcha, etc., they are the properties of the body-mind complex. Darshitatvat means because they have seen like that. Because they have that sort of darshana, because they have got that type of understanding. Darshitatvat. Then, is it clear?
Yes.
Ataha te न कायक्लेश दुःख भयात् कर्म परित्यजन्ति नापि ते कर्माणि आत्मनि पश्यन्ति येन नियतं कर्म मोहात् परित्यजेयुः गुणानां कर्म नैव किंचित् करोमि इति हि ते सन्यस्यन्ति. Okay. So these people kaya klesha bhayat na sanyasyanti. This is not because of laziness, not because you have quarreled with somebody, you are not doing sannyasa because of that. Te kaya klesha dukkha bhayat na karma parityajanti. They do not give up karma because of the physical strain. Kaya klesha, okay, physical strain is the most correct word. Physical strain. So they do not say give up karma because of the physical strain or dukkha, some other dukkha, some other say unhappy incident or unhappy development, let us say, dukkha bhayat, karma na parityajanti. They have not given up like that. They have given up after proper evaluation. They have not given up in a fit of emotion. They have not become sannyasis in a fit of emotion. They have become sannyasis by proper evaluation of nitya, anitya, vastu, viveka, etc. So that is the point. They have done proper nitya, anitya, viveka, they have done proper atma, anatma, viveka, and then they have become sannyasis, not in a fit of anger or fit of emotion. So it's like that. Dukkha bhayat na karma parityajanti napi te karmani atmani pashyanti. They don't see these karmas in the self, the real self, which is say nayam hanti nahanyate. That is the type of the self. So in that self they do not see these karmas. Then then we read this. Yena niyatam karma mohat parityajeyuhu. Yena niyatam karma. Yena means if at all they were to see so. If they were to see so, the whole sentence has to be read in one go. That is, napite karmani atmani pashyanti yena niyatam karma mohat parityajeyuhu. By which, yena means by which. That is, they do not see karmas in the Atman, by which. So in English we have to break it in a different way. In English we have to say, in case they were to see so, if they were to see so, if they were to perceive so, then they would give up karmas in a fit of delusion. If they were to perceive all these things, say as what karmani atmani. If they were to see all these karmas in the Atman, because of delusion they would give up. They are not seeing like that. They are having a proper vision. They are having a proper understanding. So that is it. So if they were to see so, then the question of parityaga will arise. But then they are not doing like that. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Napite karmani atmani pashyanti yena niyatam karma. Niyatam karma means that nitya karma. Niyatam, that which is prescribed. Niyati is something which is prescribed. Karma. Mohat parityajeyuhu. Then what do they think? Gunanam karma. The karma relates to gunas. That is their thinking. Gunanam karma, you can put in inverted commas. Gunanam karma. Naiva kinchit karomi. That also you can put it in inverted commas. Gunanam karma means karma does not belong to me. Karma does not belong to the Atma. Karma belongs to the gunas. Iti te chintayanti. That is how the connection. Naiva kinchit karomi. I am not the karta here. Naiva kinchit karomi. Iti hi te sanyasyanti. With that frame of mind, with that proper understanding, they renounce, they relinquish the actions. So that is the meaning there. Then sarvakarmani manasa sanyasya ityadibhirhi tattvavidaha sannyasa prakaraha uktaha
तत्त्वविदः संन्यासप्रकारः उक्तः
तस्माद् ये अन्ये अधिकृताः
तस्मात् ये अन्ये अधिकृताः
कर्मणि अनात्मविदः
कर्मणि अनात्मविदः
येषां च मोहात् त्यागः सम्भवति
येषां च मोहात् त्यागः सम्भवति
कायक्लेशभयाच्च
कायक्लेशभयाच्च
त एव तामसास्त्यागिनः राजसाश्च इति निन्द्यन्ते
त एव तामसास्त्यागिनः राजसाश्च इति निन्द्यन्ते
कर्मिणाम् अनात्मज्ञानां कर्मफलत्यागस्तुत्यर्थम्. Okay, it's a long line. We will break it. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasya ityadibhihi. So there is one line. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasya aste sukham vashi navadvare pure dehi. Where is that thing? 13th, yeah. 13th adhyaya.
Third adhyaya, 13th.
13th shloka. Okay. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasya aste. Is it third adhyaya?
Yes. Sorry, fifth adhyaya.
Fifth. That is it. Panchamodhyaya. Yeah. Sarvakarmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vashi navadvare puredehi naiva kurvanna karyan. Isn't it? So in this town, in this puram called, in this city having 9 gates, this man is very happily dwelling. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasya. The point is manasa sanyasya. Manasa means by proper understanding. So here, manasa sanyasya ityadibhihi means by many such sentences. Not only in this context but in some other places also. Tattvavidaha sanyasa prakaraha uktaha. This tattvavit is not doing sanyasa in a fit of anger, a fit of emotion. One second. So he is not doing this sannyasa in a fit of emotion, but he is doing with proper understanding. So tattvavidaha sannyasa prakaraha uktaha tasmat, because because of that, anye adhikrutaha karmani anatmavidaha. So the other people adhikrutaha karmani, those who are supposed to do karma, anatmavidaha means those who are not jnanis. Anatmavidaha means those who are not jnanis. Atmavit is jnani, anatmavit is Ajnani. Anatmavidaha is plural. Those Aratmavidaha, those people who are not realized persons, let us say, ignorant does not mean foolish people, not unrealized persons, and Yesham cha mohat tyagaha sambhavati, and for whom there is a possibility, sambhavana, sambhavati, the word sambhavati he uses, that sambhavana means there is a possibility. There is a possibility of giving up karma, mohat. Mohat means some sort of faulty thinking, some sort of delusional thinking. There is a possibility of giving up that karma. Then kaya klesha bhayacha, because of the fear of physical strain. Why all this karma? Why should I do strain? Why should I strain so much? I will as well become a sannyasi and happily eat in the house of so many people. So that is probably in olden days we have to see this also. You see, the Brahmins, they were supposed to do this. They were not supposed to acquire wealth. They were leading a very, very poor life. And then sannyasa was one ashrama which was allowed only for a Brahmin and not for Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Sannyasa is something allowed only for a Brahmin. Kshatriya up to Vanaprastha only. Then Vaishya, of course, Vanaprastha, I am not very sure. But Brahmin, of course, he was the only man who was allowed to become a sannyasi. So already poverty is there. Already there may be some quarrel in the house. So probably there was a temptation to become sannyasis. So it was a social problem also. That also we have to keep in mind. In addition, probably it must also have been a fashion. Because at that time, Buddha's time, to become a sannyasi was also a fashion. Buddha, he took lot many people into the fold of the sannyas, into this sannyas ashrama, including women. You just shave off the head and then take them also into, if you read Buddhist writings, you see that. So becoming a sannyasi was something which was a happy option, maybe in those days, because the society was still observing a lot of dharma. You see, here if you find one sannyasi today, that sannyasi will be having a lot of problems with his food. Because a proper sannyasi, he is not supposed to have a kitchen. A real sannyasi, somebody like Tattvavidananda or some Paramarthananda, he is not supposed to have, the real sannyasis, they are not supposed to have a kitchen, and they don't have also. Every day they are invited to somebody's house, or somebody brings some tiffin carrier and then gets some food, and then that is how they eat. There is no kitchen. Not that they cannot afford, but then they are supposed to live like that, basically to ensure that they do spread some wisdom in the minds of some people, and those people, out of sheer gratitude, they will give some food to them. A sannyasi is supposed to spread knowledge, spread wisdom among people, and then by that he is supposed to earn his livelihood. So sannyasi's life is a very, very hard life. But then in olden days, of course now it is like that. In olden days probably everybody respected a sannyasi by sheer say this saffron robes and all that. Everybody respected a sannyasi. Everybody invited, and then they gave some good nice food, etc., etc. It was a happy option also probably in olden days, we would not know. So for various sociological reasons, it appears that sannyasa was a happy option for some of these Brahmins. So this is only my conjecture. So yenas, where are we? Say sannyasa prakaraha uttah adhikrita mohat tyagaha sambhavati. Yesham cha mohat tyagaha sambhavati kaya klesha bhayach. So this man, because of physical strain or out of some sort of delusional thinking, so this sort of tyaga is quite possible for this say poor Brahmin. So te eva tamasas tyagiraha rajashascha iti nindyante. Such people only, they are being found fault with. Nindyante means they are being found fault with ninda. Ninda, you know, ninda is something which is finding fault, censure. They are being censured, let us say. Censured is a better word. They are being censured as what? Tamasasthyaginaha, rajasasthyaginaha. They are the tamasathyaginaha, rajasathyaginaha. They are, the sattva guna is not there in them. If you have understood the problem, and if you have understood the futility of life, and if you have understood all that, and then if you have relinquished, then that is sattvika buddhi. Without that, in some fit of anger, or because of some problem, or because you have heard some Purana Shravanam and then suddenly you become a sannyasi, that is something which is a rajasatyaga or tamasatyaga. So that is what he says. So tayeva, tam is teyeva, tamasasthyaginaha, rajasasthyaginaha nindyante. They are being censured. Then karminam anatmajnanam karma phala tyaga stutyartham. Why are they being censured? In order to praise somebody. If you are censuring somebody, it means you are praising somebody, isn't it? There is what is called nahininda nyayam. Nahininda nyayam means when you are blaming somebody, it means that you are praising somebody else. So here, karminam anatmajnanam karma phalatyaga stutyartham. In order to praise the karma phalatyaga of the karmis who are anatmajnas. You see, there is somebody who is doing sannyasa out of foolishness. And you have somebody who is doing karma, leaving karma phala tyaga. Between these two, who is better? Somebody who is a fool, who is having a delusional thinking and he gives up all karmas altogether, and somebody who only does karma phala tyaga and then does karmas. You have to naturally prefer a man who is doing karma and then giving up only karma phalam. So that is what is the point here. So tesham stutyartham, karma phalatyaga stutyartham, in order to praise or in order to compliment the person who is doing karma phalatyaga. Who is he? Karminam anatmajnanam. He is a karmi. You and me, karmis. We are all in the karma right now. Karminam anatmajnanam. Those who are not yet jnanis, anatmajna, that is, who are in the jnana path, they are basically in the jnana path. Otherwise, he will not give up karma phala, he will not do karma phala tyaga. You see, a normal man will not do karma phala tyaga. Only those who are in this path of knowledge, those who are seekers, those who are in this jnana path, only they will do that. Karma yoga, in other words. So, tesham stutyartham. In order to compliment people, in order to compliment those gruhasthas who are doing karmas and who have done karma phala tyaga. And then in order to say blame these gruhasthas who have foolishly abandoned the say karmas. So we have got two types of people. There is a gruhastha who has foolishly abandoned karmas, and there is a gruhastha who is doing karma, abandoned karma phala, given up karma phala tyaga only. So naturally this man is better. So that is what is the point. Is it clear?
Yes.
Then Sarvarambha Parityagi,
Sarvarambha Parityagi,
Mauni Santushto Yena Kenachit,
Mauni Santushto Yena Kenachit,
Yena Kenachitu, Aniketaha Sthiramatihi iti,
Aniketaha Sthiramatihi iti,
Gunatita Lakshanecha,
Gunatita Lakshanecha,
Paramartha Sanyasino Visheshitatvat.
Paramartha Samnyasino Visheshitatvat.
Okay, so here he is using another word called Paramartha Sanyasi. Paramartha Sannyasi means the real sannyasi. Paramartha Sannyasi means the real sannyasi, the Jnani sannyasi. You can note down there. Paramartha Sannyasi means in real sense. Paramartha, in real sense, he is the sannyasi. Paramartha Sannyasi. We are now talking about, earlier we have seen Satvika Tyaga and Tamasa Tyaga, isn't it?
Yes.
Tamasas Tyaginaha, Rajasas Tyaginaha. So there is a Satvika Tyaga versus Tamasa Tyaga. So, but here, not only Satvika, but also out of Jnana. Paramartha Sannyasi is somebody not only Satvika Tyaga, but a Jnani Sannyasi. So, I will read this line again. From where is this? Sarvarambha. Okay, Sarvarambha Parityagi. This line is from the same 12th Adhyaya. Sarvarambha Parityagi, Mauni Santushtaha Yena Kenachitu. All these things are from this Bhakti Yoga.
12-16.
12-16. Sarvarambha Parityagi. Yasman Nodvijate Lokaha Anapeksha. This Anapekshaha Shuchihi Dakshaha Udasino Gatavyatha Sarvarambha Parityagi Yomad Bhakta Same Priyaha. So Sarvarambha Parityagi, he has given up all endeavors. Arambha is an endeavor, any effort. So all those things he has given up. So Sarvarambha Parityagi iti. So then Mauni Santushto Yena Kenachit. This also is somewhere here only. Santushto Yena Kenachit is in 19th shloka. The same 12th Adhyaya, 19th shloka. Mauni Santushtaha Yena Kenachit. Aniketaha Sthiramatihi. The same shloka. Santushto Yena Kenachit. Aniketaha Sthiramatihi. Addressless person. Aniketaha is somebody who does not stay in a place, in a huge ashram, nice, beautiful AC ashram, he does not stay. So that is what is Aniketa. Aniketaha Sthiramatihi Bhaktiman. So that's what he says. So by saying all this, Gunat and Aniketa Sthiramatihi iti, and also Gunatita Lakshanecha. So in the 14th chapter also, Gunatita Lakshana we saw in 14th chapter, isn't it? So 3 quotations he has given from 12th chapter. That is Sarvarambha Parityagi, Mauni Santushtaha, then Aniketa Sthiramatihi iti, then Gunatita Lakshanecha. And also in this 14th chapter, what has been told? Paramartha Sanyasinaha Visheshitatvat. That this about Paramartha Sanyasi, it has been very clearly said. Visheshitatvat means Paramartha Sanyasi very, very specifically explained, very clearly explained. Visheshitatvat means because it is very clearly explained. What? Paramartha Sanyasi. Paramartha Sanyasi is very clearly explained in this 12th Adhyaya and again in the 14th Adhyaya. Then Vakshyati cha Jnanasya ya Paranistha iti.
Jnanasya Paranistha iti.
So this again 18th shloka, 18th Adhyaya, some 50th shloka. Nishtha Jnanasya ya Para Siddhim Prapto Yatha Brahma Tathapnoti Nibodhame. So here again is referring to Jnana Nishtha. Nishtha Jnanasya ya Para, that supreme Jnana Nishtha, those who are in that supreme Jnana Nishtha. Tasmat Jnana Nishtha Sanyasinaha Na iha vivakshitaha. So this is the final statement. Iha, here in this context, Jnana Nishtha Sanyasinaha. All this reference is about what? All this reference is about Tyajyam Dosha Budityeke. Who has to give up karma? Who has to give up karma phalatyaga? Who has to do this karma phalatyaga? So that is what is the whole context. So Tasma Jnananishta Sanyasinaha na iha vivakshitaha. Now vivakshitaha means they are not intended here. Vivaksha, in Telugu we use the word wrongly. Vivaksha is Vaktum, Ichha is Vivaksha. That is desire to say, desire to convey. Vivakshitaha means intended or conveyed. Na vivakshitaha means they are not intended here. That is not the meaning conveyed here. So that is the meaning. So they are not intended here. So this Jnana-nishtha sannyasinaha, they are not intended here, they are not the people intended here. Then who is intended? Karminaha. Karminaha, gruhasthaha, they are intended here. Then karmaphala tyaga eva sattvikattvena gunena tamasatvadyapekshaya sannyasa uchyate na mukhya sarva karma sannyasah. Okay, karma phala tyaga eva. So this tyaga, that is relinquishing the fruit of that action, relinquishing the fruit of karma, that sattvikattvena gunena, because it is motivated by sattva guna. Sattvikattvena gunena means because it is, the underlying principle is sattva guna. So because it is motivated by this sattva guna, then tamasatvadyapekshaya sannyasah. In relation to other types of sannyasa, in relation to tamasa sannyasa, in relation to rajasa sannyasa, this sannyasa which is motivated by sattvika guna, it is called sannyasa. This particular tyaga, karma phala tyaga, which is motivated by sattvika guna, is better than that sannyasa which is done in moha, out of delusion, whether it is due to rajasa guna or tamasa guna. So that is why it is called sannyasa. Na mukhya karma sannyasa, na mukhya sarva karma sannyasa. This again we have to see this mukhya karma sannyasa. Mukhya karma sannyasa means mukhya sannyasa and gauna sannyasa. We have to again, you can note down. Paramartha sannyasa is one word which we saw earlier. Paramartha sannyasa is equal to mukhya sannyasa. You can note down. Paramartha sannyasa is equal to mukhya sannyasa. That is the main sannyasa. That is what is the main idea of sannyasa. Whereas then what is it sannyasa we are doing? What we are doing is gauna sannyasa. Gauna, by virtue of the guna. Guna means not sattva rajas tamo guna, by virtue of its nature. Because this component of giving up is there. This component of giving up is there, so that is why it is called gauna sannyasa. That the giving up the property. Guna means property. In that sense we have to take. Guna is property. Gauna sannyasa is by virtue of the property of giving up. Because that property of giving up is there, that concept, that component of giving up is there, so that is why it is called gauna sannyasa. Then again we should not confuse with vividisha sannyasa. We are having so many sannyasas here. So mukhya sannyasa is one. Mukhya sannyasa is equal to paramartha sannyasa. That is the real jnani sannyasa. A person who is a jnani, enlightened person, after Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, he becomes a sannyasi, means he gives up all these karmas. He is the real sannyasi. That is what is called paramartha. Vidvat sannyasi also is equal. You put that equal also. Vidvat sannyasi is equal to paramartha sannyasi, is equal to mukhya sannyasi. Gauna sannyasi is different. Gauna sannyasi means you and me who give up the karma phala tyaga, who give up this karma phala. That is, who do karma phala tyaga. Vividisha sannyasi is again a sannyasi only. Vividisha sannyasi, he has given up all the karmas. So now is it clear? Yes. These broadly three types of sannyasis. So we are called gauna sannyasis. We are figuratively called sannyasis. Gauna, we are called sannyasis. Mukhya sannyasi is the main man. Vividisha sannyasi is who is in that path. Gauna sannyasi we are figuratively called. So that is it. So these three types. Is it clear? Tasmad jnana-nishtha sannyasana karma-phala tyaga eva sattvikattvena gunena sannyasa uchyate na mukhyaha sarva-karma sannyasah. Is it clear? Yes. Okay. Next. Sarva-karma sannyasa sambhavecha.
Sarva-karma sannyasa sambhavecha.
Okay. Sannyasa sambhavecha.
Sannyasa
asambhave. So that is it. Sannyasa asambhavecha. Nahi deha bhruta iti hetuvachanat mukhya eva iti chet.
Nahi deha bhruta iti hetuvachanat mukhya eva iti chet.
Na. Hetuvachanasya stutyarthatvat. So here we have to see, before understanding this line, we have to see that the Purva Pakshi is trying to see some contradiction between, this Sarva Karma, Nahi Deha Bhruta Kashit. This shloka is 18-11. That shloka we are going to see. So in 18-11, Lord Krishna is going to say, Nahi dehabhruta shakyam tyaktum karmanyasheshatah. That is, for anybody who is bearing this body, dehabhrut, deham bibharti, one who is having a body, or one who is in this dehatma bhava. Nahi dehabhruta shakyam tyaktum karmani asheshatah. It is impossible to give up all karmas. It is impossible to give up karmas altogether. So that is what he is going to say. So this is one statement here in 18-11. So there is another statement which we saw earlier, Sarva Karmani Manasa Sanyasya, Sukham Aste Sukham Vashi. We saw Sarva Karmani Manasa Sanyasya is 5th chapter.
Yes.
We saw. So in one place you are saying this Sarva Karmani Manasa Sanyasya, and another place you are saying Nahi Deha Bhruta Shakyam Tyaktum Karmanyasya, it is not possible to give up karmas. So this Purva Pakshi is trying to see some contradiction. So Lord Krishna has contradicted what he said earlier, so that is what he is saying. So if there is time, his time is over. Okay, we will see this Purva Paksha and also Siddha, the answer in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.